247 Niger TV.
It was St. Augustine that said some time ago that hope has two beautiful daughters, anger and courage. Anger the way things are, and courage to see to it that things don't remain the same again. The name is Couarge Mbon, and on 247 Niger TV, this is Frontlines. My guest today is a man of many parts. He's been there, he's done that. He's a politician, he's a businessman. He's also a member of board of the Nigerian Boxing Federation. I am tempted to think he's a boxer because I think he has the looks. Join me and welcome Mr. Daniel Udo. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's good to have you on.
Thank you very much for joining us on Frontlines.
Thank you.
How are you doing today? You look good after elections.
I'm fine, I'm okay.
Are politicians supposed to look this good immediately after elections?
Well, I mean, it all depends on what bothers you. For me, election is not a do or die affair, so we've concluded that aspect, and every other what remains is governance. We have to now settle down to appraise the promises we make to the people, and then see what can be done to address it after the inauguration and assumption of office of the new government under the leadership of His Excellency Udom Emmanuel. And at the national level, we also expect that the new president,
the General
Mohammed Buhari, retired, will also give to Nigerians exactly what he promised them, good governance. So any other thing to me is part of the process. Those who are aggrieved, who feel that the result did not meet their expectation, have the right to seek redress wherever they feel like going for redress, which is a normal thing. I thank God for everything, because I mean everything went smoothly and ended peacefully. We don't have any cases of violence and crises, against whatever was the expectation from the either within and outside the country.
But some persons would not naturally agree with that assertion that the elections was violence free, because we had instances of some skirmishes here or there.
Well, it all depends on from the way you look at it, and you don't expect when there's going to be a major shift or change in power that it will be absolutely free without minor skirmishes here and there. But overall, I think we need to be grateful to God, because we are sitting here together talking peacefully.
Okay.
You know what usually happens in some other countries. By now, maybe people will be on the run, and probably there will be refugee cases resulting from violence and other stuff. But we are not having that kind of situation. The outgoing president did Nigerian a great honor by accepting the result and accepting to hand over. So to that extent, I think Nigerians should be grateful to God and be grateful to the former president or the outgoing president, because what would have been the situation if he had resisted handing over or accepting the result. By now, maybe the two parties, the various parties would have been at loggerheads and engaging themselves in either fiscal combat or exchange of very violent words. So we are grateful to God for the result we've gotten so far.
Okay, finally on the elections now, before we move on to life after elections, would you say the People's Democratic Party, who is stepping aside as the ruling party after a long run, would you say their fortunes would have fared better? Was there a way it could have been managed, situations would have been managed, to make the fortunes of the party fare better at the 2015 general elections?
Yes, certainly. I mean, in my own opinion, I believe that we would have done better. I mean, I also believe that the process leading to the primaries and the primaries itself wasn't quite neat and proper. So I do hope that maybe in a subsequent arrangement we'll be able to eliminate those loopholes and ensure that things are done properly. Because I believe that contributed tremendously to the result we got, which wasn't quite favorable. You know, I think I would love to call for a major, you know, maybe change in the way we do things within the party.
Okay.
And especially some kind of fairness, internal democracy, and allowing the vote of the members of the party to count.
Okay.
The voice of the people to be heard within the party. You know, I think if we do that, it will be much better. It will help to move the party forward. You could have, if that was allowed, maybe the result would have been better. Yes.
2015 elections have come and gone. Let's look at your home state of Akwa Ibom. How do you see Akwa Ibom faring beyond 2015?
Yeah, I am very, very optimistic about the future of Akwa Ibom, especially, you know, knowing that the man that we have elected to lead the state from after Fabio is the man that has what it takes in terms of the necessary qualification. He has a pedigree that can be depended upon. We have confidence that Udom will do well. He's well qualified, and he has reach, he has the connection, he has the capacity, and we really needed a man like Udom at this point in time, especially considering the economy of the nation and the way things are in our state. We need a man who is maybe, would I say, neither here nor there in terms of really getting involved with the way we play politics. Is going to bring all the difference that is required to enable the place to be stabilized.
Some persons say he's not a politician, and because he's not a politician...
Yeah, I think that is what we really needed at this time.
That's what we need.
We never really needed a politician. We needed a technocrat, somebody that would be a bit more focused on bringing solution to the myriads of problems we're having. And the major ones are, you know, lack of jobs and opportunities. So I believe that one who will be interested in ensuring that the various ethnic groups are at peace with themselves. He is not, even though he's an Ibibio man, I don't think he will victimize any section. He will be just and fair to all the section. That's what I perceive. So I believe if that is done, then the tension that was created as a result of whatever that resulted in his being elected into that position would have been doused. And then the economic sector is also crucial. He talked about industrialization, job creation. If he's able to do that, there are so many things that can be done to move the state forward in terms of employment generation. If we can industrialize the state, the government does not necessarily need to get involved in the establishment of industries, but they could provide the necessary infrastructures like good network of roads, electricity, maybe the seaport has been proposed. If they can successfully get that off the ground and then get the airport with all the components that are still left to be completed, finish, the additional runway, the maintenance hangar, the arrival hall, and then of course manpower development. Is not enough to create all these institutions like the 20th Anniversary Hospital, the stadium, and all those institutions, the airport, the seaport that we're proposing, without training the people that will manage those institutions. So it is absolutely necessary that the necessary manpower is prepared for those tasks ahead. If by chance we are able to, the government is able to put in place the industrial revolution or whatever renaissance that they are talking about, I believe that will go a long way in stabilizing the state economically.
Before we go on a short break, I would want you to, well, in a very brief way, assess the outgoing administration of Chief Godswill Akpabio.
Yes, Akpabio has done well by my own assessment. He has done his best. He's on beat.
Given the resources,
and given the situation that is where he did his own best. He was able to take the state to another level in terms of marketing the state, getting people in the world, this country, to respect and to know that we exist. All the other governors did their best in their own way. Atta did his own best. His, stubbornness and steadfastness resulted in getting the 13% and other resources that were meant for us. Even the recovery of those oil wells, we made a very good effort there. And Godswill came and ensured that a solid foundation was laid, and then got the state to a level where we are recognized and respected. Khan did his own bit. Ban also made his own contribution. All of them at various time and when they had their own time, did their bit to contribute to the development of the state. So I believe that we don't need to come and build upon that. For instance, the Science Pact, which was started, because
that has been abandoned for 8 years now.
I actually do not agree with any process leading to the state funds being invested up to the tune of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 billion, and then such a project is abandoned. I think all those projects must be revived and be completed.
Is there any hope for that project after 8 years?
Of course, I believe so, because
I imagine the facilities would have been...
We are talking about industrial renaissance, then there is need for that institution to be completed, because it was meant to be an incubating center to incubate ideas, young minds and ideas, IT technologies and all those stuff that will eventually now move on to either set up their own businesses and then even manage the one the state is trying to set up. So, and then be able to have what it takes to partner with foreigners to be able to either set up businesses and industries and be able to manage it. So I think we need that incubation center. That's what the Science Pact was intended to achieve. So we should go back to it and complete it. We should not allow the money already invested, the taxpayers' money, to be wasted in that manner. The same goes with the Tropicana. I believe that Tropicana, so much money had already gone into it. So I believe that it should be completed, because I also believe that government should work to ensure that the roadmaps are provided to guide us on almost every aspect that we intend to venture into. For instance, if we intend to go into tourism and cultural development seriously, like the Cross River State government under Duke did, then we need to have a roadmap. We need to have a blueprint.
Yes.
We need to have a blueprint on industrialization. And like I said, I wouldn't really favor the idea of government actually going into the establishment of any industries, because after that you now begin to talk about how to manage it, and I wouldn't want institution where government officials are brought in to take over the management and run the place like a civil service.
Of course,
that would absolutely
former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said sometime that government has no business running business.
Exactly. So what government needs is to ensure that we create all the attractions, the core attractions. And what are the core attractions? The core attraction is electricity, the seaport, the airport, then the training of our manpower, and maybe in the tourism subsector, complete all the tourism projects like the Tropicana, the hotel in Ikorogbene, the Core River Hotel in Eke, dualize the road to Ibadan, finish the beach front, identify all the historical and tourism and cultural sites, develop them to global standard, and then package them and ensure that Akwa Ibom is those sites, those facilities are taken to a level where the world will recognize and appreciate. Then create all other things that are needed to attract investors and industrialists to Akwa Ibom. Once you have electricity, we don't need to wait for Nigeria. If Nigeria is not ready to move on with, ensuring the availability of uninterrupted supply of electricity, Akwa Ibom can go ahead. We can leave them behind and move on and ensure once investors within and outside the country get to know that Akwa Ibom is one place that you can have electricity. Because the biggest challenge to investors and industrialists and all the other businesses within the country is electricity, is power. So if we can afford to have power, then that will go a long way in attracting even people who are already doing business in Lagos who want to come over here. And then if we successfully get the seaport ready, then we would have succeeded in diverting the attention of some importers and exporters from Lagos to Akwa Ibom. And don't forget, Lagos is resting and surviving on the seaport. So if you can divert some of those attention from there to Akwa Ibom, we have what it takes to be able to finish that seaport. So as this new government comes in, I will advise that from day one, the governor, in partnership with either the federal government and some other foreign bodies, should move on immediately to commence on the process of getting that seaport off the ground. And then the same thing should be done about the airport. We should not leave anything halfway done. If we are going to do the airport, we should do it and complete every component of the airport should be ready. We should have a beautiful and arrival hall, not the makeshift one that we're having right there now. So these are things that could attract. I'm talking about attractions. Yes. Those are things government can provide. This present and outgoing government of Gospel Aboropabi have done so much, especially in the area of road construction. Udom can come, build on, do much, a little more on that, ensure that almost all the major cities in Akwa Ibom are connected, linked, and then of course electricity, like I said, is very, very agriculture, because to support your industries, you need the raw materials.
That's right.
So we don't need to bring in all the raw materials from outside. We need to be able to work on agriculture, those things that could provide raw materials to the industry we intend to attract to the state. And again, we need to be able to expose Akwa Ibom further to the outside world. Almost everybody that comes into Nigeria to do business stops at Lagos, and from Lagos to Abuja and maybe Kaduna and Enugu and off they go. And sometimes if they have to come to the south, they get to Port Harcourt and off they go. We must compel them to come to Akwa Ibom, get to know about Akwa Ibom, and that's why I talk about attraction. Those things that attract these people to come to Lagos. We should do something here that will attract them to also want to come to you.
We're going to look at how we can do that right after this short break. Please stay with us on 247 Niger TV. It's Frontlines. Please stay. Frontlines, only on 247 247 Niger TV. Thanks for staying with us. You're still on the Frontlines, coming your way on 247 Niger TV. Frontlines is your one-stop issue program that talks on trending national issues and issues of urgent national importance. Today we have Mr. Daniel Udo, and he is here speaking with us on Akwa Ibom beyond the 2015 general elections. Thank you very much for staying with us, sir. So before we went on a short break, you were speaking on areas you would want the government to look into, and we left it at agriculture.
Yeah, agriculture is a very important component, apart from the industrial aspect, which agriculture is supposed to provide the necessary inputs, raw materials. It also serves as, food for us to consume. For instance, I believe that we don't have any business going to Ecom or Goja to import cassava. We can be self-sufficient in cassava production within the first 2-3 years. I also believe that we can also be self-sufficient in yam production and plantain. There are many other stuff like that that I know. We have a very fertile land that, or soil that could, handle those stuff. And then fishing. From information I have from a very, very reliable source from the Minister of the Fishery Department, I'm told that Akwa Ibom has the capacity to make not less than 2 billion naira every month. 2 billion from fishing alone. This is one location that God has blessed. Our seas is filled with shrimps and all sorts of things. We need to work on that. We need to partner with maybe some foreign or private sector individuals or companies to invest in that sector and ensure that we used to have the Bugut fishing terminal in those days. It was federal government set up, and we can go back to that kind of arrangement and even expand and do better than that. And then all these people coming in to buy fishing implements to locals and then pay them virtually nothing, we can stop that. And there's so much money in it, and then stop them from just going direct to fishing environment to fish. We buy this implement for people to fish, and then we build warehouses to warehouse them, dry them, and then export them or sell them to Nigerians who might want to come and do business with us in that sector. We can make so much money. We can virtually diversify from, looking at oil and money we are getting from Abuja into so many other things. Like the palm produce, we used to be either #1 or one of the best or leading oil palm produce state in those days. We can go back to that. Rubber, cocoa, and so on, in the area of cash crops. And then in the area of food crops, like I said, we can become self-sufficient in cassava production. We can equally become self-sufficient in banana and plantain, and then yam production. It all requires some kind of coordination and proper planning, and then if the state government in partnership with the local government and the local communities could acquire large acre of land within each of the local government area and then cultivate this land and even employ our youth from within the university and other higher institution of learning to run those places. That could also be a major source of employment for our youth, especially those who are trained in the agricultural science and technology. So I believe that, and then of course the leftover from there could go into our industries, where our processing industry, where they can be processed for some other uses, pharmaceutical and other stuff like that. So I believe all this requires proper planning and focus and commitment and then passion from the man who is at the head. Then of course we also have to talk about sport. We have a lot of talent in the area of sport development. Sports
I was wondering
talent,
if you're not
a lot of talent.
Because that's like
a lot of talent. I know to the best of my knowledge that we have a lot of people who are very talented in sport, in the sports subsector. We have a lot of people in the music and movie industry who are very talented within this state. Some of the best artists we've had in this country. You know, you remember the Askia Osoro,
Okay.
And many others. You know, you can go on Benson's and all whatnot. These are women who were the leading actors in the Nollywood industry, and they are still there. You know, they are the queen. You know, and then of course, in the sport sector, you know, we have a lot of people there, the Yema of this world and so on. You know, they are bound. The Samuel Peters. You know, just a little touch. Quibum is simply wonderful and fantastic. All you need is a little support from government. You know, our government should not expect our indigenes to do much. They can't achieve much because there's no backup anywhere. We don't have industry, we don't have companies.
And the private sector,
does not exist. It's virtually zero. So government in Akwa Ibom should not wait to have, our citizens to have the support of any private like MT and all that. These are headquartered in Lagos, and you know, it's actually very difficult and frustrating for any of them to be able to access a system and support from any of those institutions. So our state government, thank God, we've been blessed, at least in terms of resources, in terms of cash flowing into the state. These can be properly channeled. You know, the human development is actually very crucial by my own understanding. If you develop the humans, then the human will turn around and develop the environment. Turn around the environment. There's nothing the humans cannot do. You know, so first invest and don't regret whatever you have to invest in developing the human beings. So build institutions, like good educational institutions. We don't really have one. The University of Uyo is nothing to write home about. The Akwa Ibom State University cannot be said to be a university. There's no university.
Really?
I believe that the state government could invest so much money to develop that universities to a global standard, so that it will not only ensure that our children are trained in a better, well-equipped environment, but that could attract people from outside the state to come and be trained here. And then we can establish academy, like the movie academy. We have a lot of people to back it up, to support it, and that kind of thing. We have a culture to develop. We can develop our culture. We have one of the richest culture in this state, in this country, and we've not done anything about it. The Igbo culture and other culture. So we can develop this culture to a point that we'll use it to attract investors by like maybe starting an innovation like the Cross that have the carnival. We can have the masquerade festival, where all the masquerade in Nigeria will assemble in Akwa Ibom at a particular time and day, and then the whole country, the whole world get to know about it, and they will be coming to Akwa Ibom. Just like we all go to Cross State to watch a carnival, which is even the origin may not necessarily be from Africa. So, but we can start something that is actually culturally and otherwise originated from here. And then I'm sure foreigners love to see things that are different from what they've seen elsewhere. We need to do something different, something that is not being done elsewhere. You know, not the carnival thing is in the Caribbean, in Brazil, everywhere, Lagos, all over the place. Carnival, with foreign culture and so forth. We can come up with something very original, very real, something that is from us, and people will love to come. And then side by side, then the Cross River State and Akwa Ibom cuisine is the best in this country. We can package it in such a manner that it becomes the African restaurant. Like you have the Chinese, the Italian, the American restaurant. We can also come up with something. So that while we are bringing people to watch our cultural heritage in terms of masquerade and all that, we also have side attraction, food, and our cultural dresses will be displayed and so forth, side by side. I'm sure this will be a major attraction. So this can create jobs. So much can be done by government, and within the next 4 years, I believe that we can do so much to attract a lot of people, investors and tourists to Akwa Ibom develop our tourism side, like I earlier mentioned, our cultural side, and and then of course there was a young man that came up with the idea of this Inara festival, and it was going to be some kind of boat regatta.
Okay.
Where along the coastline of, I think it was going to be, the setting was going to be around the head bridge, what do you call it? Itu head bridge.
Okay.
So that the government can partner with those boys, those team, develop that waterfront, and then turn it into another big site. Those things that could attract. We don't need to spend so much money. Agreed, it's important to invest on roads and others, but the amount of money we use in doing one road is enough to transform millions of our people, transform some of the institutions like the university, like I talk about, the polytechnics and other institutions can be supported, and a proper developmental arrangement put in place to ensure that those institutions are thoroughly developed to a standard that is acceptable global, so that we can attract people coming into, like the hospital, the 20th anniversary hospital that the outgoing government has put in place. That's perfect. It's wonderful, and I believe that that will help quite a great deal in attracting people if the facilities they had proposed to bring it into those places are actually there. And then we have the trained manpower to man those equipment, to handle all the services within that hospital. And then we go into the internet, we tell the world, we tell Africans, we tell Nigerians that they didn't need to go anywhere, to India, to wherever they used to go to get the kind of services they go out there for, spend millions of naira and dollars to have. We can have it here. All you need is the equipment. You need the technologies, that's the people to be trained. Even if you bring foreigners to handle it initially, we can train our women and our young men and women to take over from them, eventually, and then this institution will now attract Nigerians, attract Africans and other people outside to come and receive treatment from here, because those things they go to India for is already here now.
Okay.
So, and then the stadium, the outgoing government had done something great. That's the nest of champion. It's extremely extraordinary and wonderful. But we need to support it with the supporting facilities like the swimming pool, the standard Olympic-sized swimming pool. What do you call an indoor sport hall, where all the other sporting events can be held, and with that you will be able to attract a major sporting event outside football. Okay. All we have now is track and field. We just have now we can go to the point of hosting the National Sport Festival in Akwa Ibom, and to be able to do that you need to have those facilities provided. So that, and then the football is a one-day event. They come today and leave tomorrow. And then, but if you are hosting the National Sports Festival, they spend 3 weeks or a month in Akwa Ibom, and that of course could, the benefit will spread all over to the hotels, to even the common traders on the street, and everybody. The transport sector will be impacted. So a whole lot can be achieved with a little money, with a little focus, and a good planning. And we should not be afraid to bring in people outside the state to help us at this initial stage. Somewhere along the line, we train and bring up and groom our people to take over from them after some time. But at this stage, there's nothing wrong packaging the tourism master plan or blueprint, and then a roadmap to say, okay, look, because I hate to see things not being done properly. If you want to go into tourism, then go into tourism and be very focused. And your target, what you're targeting, and then bring in experts who will help you to get you to appreciate that this is business. It's not all about, just putting those buildings and institutions like the Tropicana in place.
a shopping complex and all those. Then, of course, within that shopping complex, I believe that one of the major attractions that could attract thousands of people to Akwa Ibom is the proposed international conference center. Now, if you have that a conference center that could provide a seating capacity of up to 5,000, then of course, you know, like all these redeem charge and all those stuff, they can decide to come to Akwa Ibom to have their major conference. The Nigerian Bar Association had not come to Akwa Ibom to host their national conference because we don't have the facilities. There are two things that has prevented us from hosting them. One, we don't have enough hotel rooms. Two, we don't have a venue that will be able to accommodate up to 3,000 lawyers.
We don't have enough hotel rooms?
We don't have enough hotel rooms.
We do have.
We don't have even half of the hotel rooms to accommodate a 3,000 capacity conference.
Well, that's surprising because
that is the truth.
We do have.
Uyo does not have up to 1,200 hotel rooms. Uyo as a whole. How many rooms does the five-star hotel has? About 160 or 170 rooms. Engine about 70 or thereabout. The castle is about maybe 80 or thereabout. And if you add up all the other ones, they are not up to 1,000. So all together, even if you add a K and the one in Ikoropene, it's not up to 1,500 room capacity. And even if you add the one at the Tropicana when it is ready, it's still not able to make up. We need up to 2,000-3,000 very standard rooms for us to be able to organize a major event that will last 2-3 days or thereabout, because people will need a place to stay. You need a good shopping complex, you know, where people can go shopping, so that their presence here will not be lost. Otherwise, their presence here will be lost. It will be a waste because they don't spend money. You need to provide things that will enable these visitors to spend money. They are coming in with money, you know, in millions. So and you allow them to go back because they didn't have what to spend the money on. You know, staying in hotel rooms, not being able to visit anywhere, not being able to go to anywhere, not finding what to spend their money on, does not make sense to me. So if you have to create, call it a tourism, you know,
tourist attraction,
then you need to also, like the raffia business in Ikoropene, should be developed to a level where we can have some souvenirs from there.
Yes.
And then all other things that even when tourists comes, you know, they are very inquisitive. Tourists are naturally very inquisitive people. They want to see. They are not satisfied by arriving in Uyo airport and then going straight into their hotel room and staying there. The moment they touch their hotel rooms, the next thing they want to do is to go out visiting. They want to go sightseeing. Where do they go? You know, do you have what they have to see? You know, because these are things that will cause them to want to come back. You know, I mean, if you don't have those things, that's why I said the beach must be prepared. Both the one in Ikorobasi and the one at Ibno. And the road to those places must be very neat. You know, so the road from Eket to Ibno should be dualized. The one from Uyo to Eket should be dualized. And then, of course, Ikorobasi. All those things. And then, you know, we should have selected cities that must be made to attain a certain standard, like Ikorobene, Eket, Aron, Ikorobasi, and of course Uyo as a state capital. These cities government must deliberately go out of their way to, in partnership with the local government and the local authorities there, and the people, clean up the place. Make sure the place is neat. Uyo must be well organized. You know, Uyo at the moment is disorganized. There's nothing that is really organized in Uyo. I mean, people are trading everywhere, you know. I mean, it's not supposed to be so. And then we need to be able to do something about the transport system, you know, because that's another very important aspect. The security is getting fairly okay, but I believe that much more can be done to better the present security arrangement so that visitors will not be, nobody will be harassed, molested, even the way we behave and treat visitors. There's room for improvement. We can talk to our people. We can reach out to our people through our elders, through the communities, and get our people, reorientate them. to understand that, look, Akwa Ibom is now becoming a tourism heaven, where hundreds of thousands of people are expected to come in from year in, year out. And as they come in, they want to see people who welcome them, smile at them. They want to feel at home. They want people who will be able to give them proper direction, whom they can ask questions and get, reasonable answers. Not meeting with people who are frustrated, who are not happy, and that kind of thing. So some semblance of stability, peace, and happiness must be created within even the people themselves, so that they can, on their own part, then interact and transmit some feelings to the people who are coming into the state. So these little things can be done. If you look at Cross River State today, they are attracting a lot of investment into that state, just because one man came in with a great idea and then put a good team in place, and they were able to package the tourism, look at the tourism potential of Cross River State, and start the process of transforming them into a world-class standard. And then people started being attracted. They came up with the carnival. They now went to Budu Cattle Ranch and transform it. And then it becomes a major attraction. People being attracted. And the moment one comes into your environment, even those stories they had, because I recall a story, an incident when I was in Kaduna. I was on my way home in those days, and there was this young lady who was coming to Akwa Ibom to serve as a copper. And he was telling me all sort of negative stories about what she heard, that even the people are not only hostile, they even kill and eat the flesh. And I said, no.
Was that even true? I heard that too.
But
did that ever happen at any point?
Honestly, there wasn't anything like that ever. Not to the best of my knowledge. We've never had a situation where people were hostile to the point of killing people. And there are people generally are even more, they are nicer to visitors
than even to themselves.
To themselves. So these are things that, but I assured the young lady that it wouldn't be long when you get to this is your first time of coming to Akwa Ibom. You said yes. Okay. When you get to Akwa Ibom, we will have, I want us to communicate. So, because I believe that somewhere along the line, you will change that story. You will have a different story to tell. And it wasn't up to 3 months. He had a different story to tell about Akwa Ibom. And as I'm talking to you now, he's married to an Akwa Ibom man. And he's even thinking of not ever leaving Akwa Ibom. There are many non-indigenous of Akwa Ibom who are here now who want to live in Akwa Ibom for the rest of their life. They don't want to go away. A few days ago, I was at Atlantic FM where I had an interview. As I was leaving, I gave a young lady, a staff of that company, that institution, a lift. And she happened to come from, I think, Anambra or Imo. And she was telling me before she came to Akwa Ibom that she was really worried about all the stories they were telling her. But today, she's not thinking of leaving Akwa Ibom. At least not going back to a place that, in terms of security, in terms of, peace, she can't really compare those places. Can't compare Rivers, Delta, Edo, Imo, even Abia to Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom is a much more peaceful place, much more stable place, very civil, and people are more friendly than some of those environments. Security-wise, it is wise to be in Akwa Ibom. It's wise to be in Uyo. So, to me, I believe that we need to package our state. We don't need so much money to get that done. All we need is good planning with the right people. Not employing a commissioner for culture and tourism as a medical doctor. Not employing a man, an agriculturist, as commissioner for works and transport. No, you need to bring in the right people. It doesn't really matter where they are coming from.
Now that you've mentioned this, I think I should also take you up on that immediately. The incoming administration, how would you want it to be formed? How would you want Deacon Odumi Gabriel Emmanuel to form, his cabinet? What should he consider when bringing together, his cabinet?
Well, let me quickly say this, and I think I've said it even at Atlantic FM last week when I appeared in their program, and I made it very clear that he should go for the best. He shouldn't. He has 4 years to impress us, to respond to all the expectations. Just 4 years, and he should stay back home. He should stay a bit more home, and anytime he goes out there, it should be how he can bring in investors, either within and outside the country. he should take Akwa Ibomites along with him and get them introduced to foreign investors. We should build warehouses and bring in our people and assist our people to build warehouses. And if you don't mind, I will call on the incoming government to ensure that whoever is awarded contract up to the tune of even 50 million naira and makes a profit of about 10 million should create a job, should do something, should invest at least 5-10 million naira of that amount to create jobs that will employ at least 20 people off the street. You know, so not to talk of 200 million or 150 million naira jobs or $1 billion. And then it should compel the foreign contractors to employ Akwa Ibom people and train them. And then it should ensure that 70%, if not more, of the construction jobs are done by Akwa Ibom. We should do all we can to ensure that the money we get from Abuja, wherever we are getting the money from, is retained here. Because we have terrible capital flight. Within the first 1 or 2 weeks of whatever money we are getting from Abuja arriving in Uyo, it's all gone. Through contractors who are non-indigents, who will almost instantly ensure that the money is taken out. You know, and in many cases you find that most of the people they are employing are non-indigents. So we lose both sides. We lose the money and lose the technical know-how. Because I mean, they don't even employ Akwa Ibom citizens. They don't keep the money here. So where do we gain from this? So we must stop all those kind of arrangements. We must bring our people and force them, compel them, get the right people to monitor and supervise them very effectively to ensure that whatever job is given to them. I believe that we have competent and capable you know, contracting firms within the state who can do most of the, if not the major ones, like maybe the road leading to from Uyo to Ikorobene. The other roads can be handled, yes, by them. Gradually, before the next 1 or 2, 3 years or more, most of them would have been very competent and qualified to be able to handle even major jobs. So I believe that if you have the right people to supervise it, there's nothing wrong even if you bring in a white man or whoever, a very qualified person, experienced people to supervise them, to ensure they meet that standard. They will do it, you know, so that we will not allow the money we are getting from Abuja to leave the state almost instantly. These indigenes who are contractors, when they are given this job, they will employ Akwa Ibom citizens. Their machineries are here, the headquarters is here, everything is here. The MD and chief executive is here. They will buy the sand and water and everything here. But once you bring, I'm not saying foreign contractors should not be employed, where it becomes absolutely necessary.
Local content should be
absolutely
patronized.
That's what I'm saying. You know, so there's so much that we can gain, you know, keeping the money here and getting the manpower, getting the technology, the know-how. You understand? Train them, you know. So and then build capacity for our people to diversify from hotel industry and filling station mentality. And food is ready mentality.
You know, because when you
something
said
like core industries.
When you said there were no enough hotels in Akwa Ibom, I wondered. You know, you have hotels everywhere.
Well, there's enough hotel at least for now to take care of
the local
the number of persons that are here. But do you have enough hotel
to take care
of a major event?
Major events.
For instance, like I said, if the Nigerian Bar Association intend to decide to come to Akwa Ibom to host the event, about 5,000 of them usually go for that event. And I don't foresee 5,000 guests coming into Akwa Ibom and finding a place to stay. Except if the indigenes will now allow them to stay in their houses. I mean, for hotel rooms, I know that we don't have up to 1,500 hotel rooms.
Right.
And that I'm even adding up to the one that does not have any standard whatsoever. You know, in other words, even the one that is not supposed to be meant for people to stay.
I would really love to continue, but time is really running out. So because of time or the lack of it, I would want to take your last words as an advice to the incoming administration in Akwa Ibom. In just 1 minute, what would you want to be their first line of action once the administration sets sail? What would you want them to look into immediately, urgently?
Yes, I believe that there are so many things, but like I said, the outgoing government has done so much. So focus right now should be how to stabilize the state in terms of politics, and then economic stability. That will call for the governor giving every section of the state a sense of belonging. Bringing people from all the ethnic nationalities into his government. And by that, I'm not saying you should bring mediocres, idiots. There is no section of the state that does not have the right people, whether within or outside the state. You should bring them in. And that, first of all, everybody now knows that my brother or sister or relation or somebody, where they are from, is already in, because there's so much tension. So I believe that that will help to stabilize, because you need peace for you to be able to commence the process of the actual development of the state. If there's no stability, you cannot do much. So let him stabilize. The first 1 or 2 months should be used to stabilize the state. And then the moment that is achieved, like I said, we should then go into core things that will help in the transformation of the state. Attract people to the state. Like the electricity thing, which we have been on it for the past how many years now. I don't know why we are not yet there. Something must be done to ensure that we are there in that sector. At least, like I said, if we can successfully get power, even if the rest of Nigeria is not ready, even Akwa Ibom, because we have independent power plants, so we don't need the other part of the country to be ready for us to be ready. We can get ready without the other part of the country. Once that is ready, then it becomes an attraction. And then, of course, we should also commence the process of getting the seaport. You should get the seaport off the ground. And things that could generate employment, because thousands of our youths are roaming the street without jobs. Most of them were used for election matters and all whatnot. And I don't want a situation where you have a security problem around here. Because if you use these boys, do election, and after election, you don't quickly find what to get them to do, then there becomes a security threat and a problem. So as quickly as possible, those things that can be done immediately to ensure that we generate jobs should be done. And then events like sporting events and other major events like the Tropicana thing, that alone could be, since so much money has been invested in Tropicana, we should quickly get that place ready. Within the next 1 year, I believe what is remaining to be done in Tropicana can be done. And so many people could be employed there. The shopping complex, the water park, all those things, the hotels, the one in Ikoroben, and that, the 20th anniversary hospital, and then all the other facilities that need to be provided at the stadium. So that within the next 1 year, the government should be able to attract certain events, major events, get the conference center ready, start the hotel complex in Eket, get the road dualized to Eket, so that when you have a major event, it's not only Uyo that should have, like what Akpabio is doing now, is building the road from Uyo to Ikoroben, so that if we have a major event, that the hotels in Uyo are filled, of course it will spill over to Ikoroben, so the hotels in Ikoroben can also benefit from it. It doesn't take time. How many minutes does it take? If you have a good road from here to Eket, it takes just 20 minutes or 40 minutes or thereabout, and you are in Eket. And all you need is an air-conditioned bus to take people to Eket and bring them to you under very good security arrangement. And the boys are already employed in these industries and places. They are in the stadium, they are major sporting event is coming up, and they are all there. They are busy running all over the place. There are no more political event. In the next 1 or 2 years, there's not going to be any major political event. So create events that will keep them busy. And once you do that, the security issue will continue. The present tempo of our security, whatever, will be maintained. And then investors, because those are the things that attract visitors. When they have information that the place is stable, there's security in the place, and then there's power, there's good network of roads, which the outgoing government has done so much already. And of course, William can kind of do the remaining one, like the dualization to Ibana, like I said. And like I said, from day one, as it comes in, I don't know, in fact, by now you should already be talking to people who will be collaborating with the state government to start the seaport. The seaport alone is expected to create more than 200,000 maybe direct jobs and indirectly create so many other jobs. Don't forget, the entire economy of Lagos State is rested on the seaport. So if you can get that ready, get the additional facilities at the stadium ready so we can host major events, get the Tropicana ready, and attract people. Package the tourism sector in a manner like what the Cross River State is having. It becomes well packaged. Clean up the city of you, clean up Ikorebene, clean up Oron as a city, clean up Eke as a beautiful place, make the place neat and clean and tidy, go into agriculture, quickly move in fishing business. Within the first 1 year, the fishing business will be off the ground in a big way. And before you know it, thousands of our people would have been employed. And then, like I said, create institutions, provide the necessary facilities, train the boys that will back up those industries and man them. Because it's not enough to set up those institutions and you don't have the right people to man them.
Mr. Daniel, I just want to thank you. I'm afraid if I allow you, you might go on and on. But I appreciate your passion, because when you give someone mandates, you should be able to monitor and see if what the promises or promises you made are actually being fulfilled. I just want to thank you. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
That's it on this edition of Frontlines. It came here 1247 Niger TV. I had an exciting time out right here with Mr. Daniel Udo. He's a businessman, he's a politician, he's the MD and CEO of North-South Ventures. He's an interviewer's delight anytime, any day. And of course, this edition of Frontlines came your way from the VIP lounge of our Bed Suites, located at L-Line, I think it's L47 with Housing Estate in Uyo, Nigeria. You should try it out sometime. Fantastic place anytime, any day. Thank you very much for indulging me, and we do hope you tune in next week when we come your way with another exciting personality right here on Frontlines. My name is Couarge Mbon, and I'm out of here. Only on 247 Niger TV.